Okay, so we're talking about racing cars. Last night's go-karts. I believe you're a little bit nervous before we took off.
Just a little. They were quite powerful cars.
It was a lot of fun,
A lot of powerful cars. And they were going so fast, they were shaking all over. So yeah, I was using my brake too much.
Oh, well.
But,
yeah, fast man. And it was John's birthday. How old is the young man?
39, I think.
39.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got the whole family in on this deal. Must be. Just tell me how that feels. You know, like John being there, you being there. You're now sitting in Panama. We're all going out partying, all that sort of stuff. What's going on in life for you?
No, it's good. No, it's good. I'm enjoying the atmosphere. I'm enjoying the team, and it's always good to, you know, in your family to have a project. So no, it's good. It's very good, and we're supporting each other. So.
Yeah, big time. There's a lot of that going on. I mean, he built.
Except he has a lot of.
Yeah, he built the boats, but even here, you know, it's quite. You know, he's keeping an eye on you. You know,
he is keeping an eye on me.
Okay, so
he's pushing me quite a bit actually. But anyway, it's all good.
Tell us a bit about you. You know, like I know you're running the jewellery thing, and we've got the official 5.8m pendant and all those sorts of things. But what were you doing 40 years ago? 40
years ago, I was in. All my life, I've been in IT. Which is a strange world. It's a bit like Elon Musk's world. He's in a completely different environment, completely different. So 10 years ago, I did a shift. And now I'm working with a lot of artists. And now I'm using my senses. I never used my senses, my eyes, my ears, you know. So it's been a radical shift for me.
Yeah. And so you're living in Bali. How long have you been there out of Australia?
I've been spending about 80% of my time in Bali, only because it's a happy place. So I'm in a happy environment, happy place, happy people. The IT industry, everybody's grumpy. People spending too much money, projects not on time. It's just a grumpy environment.
So what's the happy part? The people or the culture or the, you know?
It's just everything. I think Bali people live for today. You know, they don't seem to be worried about tomorrow. And that's been a little bit of an eye-opener. It's a Hindu culture as well, so they believe in reincarnation. So it's a much different philosophy on life, but a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
A lot more relaxed.
And so you've got a Tiki 21 there, James Warren Tiki 21.
No, I've got a 38, so I've got a big boat.
It's a 38. Oh, cheapest.
So before the 580, my dream was to go around the Spice Islands, explore all around there. And then one day we woke up and decided to build a 580, and the Tiki 38 has been put on hold a little bit.
Yeah. So take us back to your sailing. You know, like you know, how far back did it go, and what created the influence on the water?
I guess my father. My father was in the army. He managed boats from an army perspective. We were up in Benbecula in the Outer Hebrides. He managed the fishing fleet up there. We used to go fishing for cod and haddock in big, rough waters.
So you're a POM?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I thought you'd think he'd die.
I've been in Australia 25 years. So that was the start. And then I got a bit of a bug. And then I bought one of those mirror dinghies, sailing on the lake.
Good fun, I've had them.
Yeah, so that taught me how to sail. And then I moved down south to Shoreham by Sea, and then bought a Trident 24.
Trident 24, they were pretty famous too. There was one of them went around the world. A guy did a flush deck on it, I remember that.
So that was a beautiful boat, 24, but it had all of the space.
Is it Triton or Trident?
Trident.
Triton, that was one of my favourite boats.
Yeah, it was a beautiful boat.
Yeah, they were bloody great.
And it was a bilge keel, so a lot of the estuaries in the south coast, they dry out with the tide. So the bilge keel, we just walked out with our welly boots to the boats, dried low tide, and then high tide we set off.
Yeah.
And then come back the same way, wait for the tide to go down and come off.
Yeah.
So I used to sail all around there, Chichester, Portsmouth, a little bit of Isle of Wight. Yeah, it was good. I had a lot of good. Yeah. but no electricity. I was cranking the engine. I don't think I had a battery. Used to put an oil lamp up for the
Yeah.
night time. We had those crazy little frequency finders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I learnt a lot about tides.
Yeah. So, does it, being in a little boat now, sailing around the world, which is a grand statement, but it's real, does it send you back to your youth a little bit?
A little bit, because I was very confident in that trident by myself, and then during the next few years, I was getting bigger and bigger boats. But then you're relying on crew and extra complexity, and cost goes up. So I think with this boat, I've got my confidence back in terms of just myself. So that's been interesting. So I don't think I had that necessarily at the start of the race. But I think you indicated that we will probably go through different feelings through the race. So, I feel very confident today to sail across the Pacific by myself. Very confident. Whereas I wouldn't have had that before.
I think it comes from just, because I know exactly what you mean, and it comes from you master your own destiny. It's only you on the boat. That's it. You can do it tough, or you can go to sleep and just come back to it later. But it's quite an achievement. You look at where you're at now. I mean, you've sailed a long way.
Yeah. We've got a long way to go, but I'm a lot more comfortable now.
Yeah.
And I'm getting on top of this.
Yeah.
Slowly getting on top of the sleeping pattern and the eating needs. So
are you having fun?
Oh, a lot of fun, yeah. Yeah, a lot of fun. Probably too much fun.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But, we're having a lot of fun in the marinas. We're having a lot of fun as a team. We're all itching to get off again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You've been a bit slow on the comms, for technical reasons. Did you get a Starlink? Everyone seems to have
we
got
bought a
Starlinks.
Starlink. So next couple of days we're going to install that.
Yeah.
So there's been a bit of a learning curve as well, how to connect it to the battery, but...
bit more complicated than a video cassette player. Anyway, let's get out another dimension, because I know because you've been a bit slow on that, you've missed out on some of the banter between everyone and so on, but that's about to change.
So what was the question?
There was a comment more than anything. Now you've got Starlink, it's like you'll be joining the social scene at sea quite a lot more, so we'll be looking forward to...
I think we need to manage, like with the Exec Go, you can leave it on.
Yeah.
But then you've got long periods between getting connectivity.
Yeah.
You can wait 30 minutes for a WhatsApp. So I think with the Starlink, we've just got to manage our power a little bit more, put it on when we want to put it on, and not leave it on.
So you got a lot of gear on your boat, and you just had to scrap your e-propulsion outboards and bought a Mercury. So now what are you going to do? You're going to carry both on the boat, and you've got the scooter and you've got your bits. Do you feel settled in the boat? Like that's your own new world, but do you feel settled?
No, I feel very settled. I mean, the only thing I'm really missing is an internal cooker, one of those...
Oh, yeah, a Rigi or something.
Alcohol burner type single.
Yeah.
There's probably, I don't know how many people have got them on board, but 5 or 6 people have got those little cookers on board.
The Rigis.
Yeah.
Yeah, little gimbal stove, yeah.
So...
You got the Aussie Barbie, which means you got to cook in the cockpit.
Yeah, but only when it's really fine weather.
Yeah.
But I have moved my jet boil outside.
Yeah.
And that was very successful.
Yeah.
So I could actually stand in the cockpit, boil the water, pour hot water, instant meals.
Yeah. So what's your typical food now?
So I think I've just done the same as you when you went across the Atlantic. I've just got a complete mixture now of fresh food, tinned food, like ready-made packets, which are good, as well as dried food.
Yeah.
I think the secret is the mix.
Yeah.
And I probably missed out on some treats. So this time I've got a bit more, like a little bit more focus on treats.
Yeah. So, what's your philosophy in life? Who inspires you? Who as a, you know, where does your inspiration come from? Any people or any books or something? Or
I think everybody inspires. No, I think everybody inspires me. Everybody's got something to add to this world. It doesn't matter what it is. Where you could be the poorest person, you still got a lot of feelings about the environment and everything.
yeah,
It's like, the poorest person on the world will probably give you everything he's got.
yeah,
So everybody.
yeah.
So
And where are the highs coming from right now? You know, like the ones that keep you going.
the highs in terms of.
Anything, life. You know, you're just getting up in the morning and then, buddy.
I am very happy to get up every day. So you probably don't know, but I had a major ear problem when I was 50. So I've had this ear cut off maybe 6 times.
Cut off. Well, they put it in the fridge and then work on it and put
Yeah,
it back
so
on
I
again.
cut off and cleaned it all out.
Yeah.
So I had a bit of a growth. And lo and behold, I had this one as well. 3 times cut off this ear.
Jeepers.
And then the surgeon gave me 18 years to live.
Yeah.
So that was probably 3 or 4 years ago. I expired.
Time's up.
So I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what do you do for fun on board, or relaxing, or whatever? Books?
Well,
or
I've got
just...
some. So I've been writing a little bit. I enjoy journalizing. So journalizing is a good way of being by yourself.
Yeah.
So I've been practicing that for the last 3 years, maybe. But so I get a lot of enjoyment now, just out of writing. It's probably rubbish, but
Yeah.
it's just enjoying.
Yeah.
And I learnt the trick of, there was a book written a long time ago about a writer's block and how to release a writer's block. And it's just a process of writing anything that's in your mind.
Yeah.
And that becomes a joy after a while.
So you're sharing it anyway?
I'm not sharing a lot of it. I've thrown a lot of stuff away. I don't think it's that relevant.
Why are you not sharing it?
I don't know. I did start sharing a little bit with Graham.
Yeah.
So I just 3 or 4 or 5 paragraphs, and I started just sharing some thoughts.
You should share it.
But I think he got quite excited because he wanted to write a book about me. And then he said, I need a dictator phone or something that he could.
Well, look, you got nothing to lose. If you have your ears chopped off and your time's been up a long time ago, it's all free time, and people.
So I can do that for an hour.
Yeah.
On the boat, and to be honest, there's a lot of activity on the boat. You know,
keep going.
Sleeping and eating and getting ready and changing sails and moving around. And so there's a lot of activity. So you don't have much activity to yourself, but I do have an interest in illustration work. So
illustrating.
That's
cool. So
I've started.
Okay.
And I've got a lot of pens and pencils and whatever.
So your ability to share it, is that a factor of the issue of not having a blog or something where you can put it all down? If you had a blog that would exist, where it's easy for you to put it on Starlink, would you share it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we need to do that. We need to create something for you so you can
make it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we might.
But I enjoy reading those little travel books where you've got like a little illustration on one side of the coffee shop or whatever it is, and then a little bit of a dialogue of the street or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I enjoy, and then there's maybe a little watercolor to go on top, but just a little technique of illustration, not being an artist, but just a technique.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's I think those little books are quite fun to share.
Yeah. So you picked up on the peace and serenity of Bali and the culture and the people, and you had like a lot of people, you've had challenges, and now you're in this little boat sailing around the world. You're starting to visualise the next stage now, the Pacific, like Pacific Islands and things like that, or are you still literally day by day on the grind? I'm just wondering how far you're looking forward, because I'd be thinking, oh wow, we're going through the Pacific now.
Right now, I'm just focused on Fiji. So I don't seem to have a lot of excitement for whatever reason, and that's probably because I don't understand. I don't understand the next 2 or 3 islands
Yeah.
that we're going to. So I've actually just bought a cruising guide of the Pacific just to
Okay.
get a little bit more educated. But
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of expectations going into Fiji. I think I have a lot more expectations after Fiji.
Yeah.
Fiji and afterwards.
Yeah.
But not so much this initial
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
So not having any expectations is probably a good thing, because I'll probably enjoy it more.
Yeah, too true. And John's along for the ride, right? He built the boats. How do you feel your relationship with your son and everything? You know, because of all this, is it a beautiful thing? It's changed the way you both look at each other and things like that. Can you try and describe that? It's quite a unique situation.
Yeah. That's that's a hard question, because I've shared a sailing passion with John, and John's taken that up in his own right. So we do share the same passion, and that sort of dominates the relationship.
Yeah.
We both enjoy having a good time. We're both not very focused on material things.
Yeah.
So I could not tell you how much it's cost to build this boat. I have no idea. And I have no idea in analysing it either. So I just make sure there's a little bit of money in the bank account for the next stage, but I'm not focused on money.
Yeah.
And we share that view as well. So we just put the effort in, and it's rewarding.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding.
So what's the bad bits? There must be something that you don't like about it, you know, or frustrating or whatever.
No, I haven't had any frustrations at all, me personally.
Yeah.
So what's intriguing, if I ask some of the other competitors how they're dealing with their stress on board, some of them are shouting and carrying on and whatever. I haven't had the need to do that yet. So I'm not even sure who I'd be talking to. So I don't get stressed on the boat at all. I get shocked.
Shocked?
Yeah, well, like when a wave comes over you, it's
cranky. Yeah.
But I don't get angry. I don't get whatever. I just accept it. So I don't know. I've always been like that.
Yeah.
So it's a bit strange to see people shouting and carrying on. Yeah. So if something goes wrong, you just have to fix it. You have to go and do whatever is necessary. But I don't get excited about it.
Yeah. So
I have a little bit of I mean, John does get. John probably feels the tension a little bit more, so he will shout at me, as an example.
Yeah. Well, he wants to perform. You know, I can see that he's keen to keep.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
there.
if you were like in Quana Marina when we were pushed in time to get the boats into the marina, and he also likes to do things by himself. Mm-hmm. So he's using me as his apprentice almost. So we had to get the keels off fairly quickly to get into the container.
Yeah.
I think, and the hard stand is next to the marina, but the whole marina heard John shouting at me, holding on to the keels so they don't fall over or whatever. Yeah. But I don't see that. That's just the way people deal with the stress.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's not, even though he may be shouting at me, it's not.
So to me, the biggest incident that I've heard you talk about was when you ended up coming off the back of a big wave on this first leg of the race, and you ended up getting swamped basically, and you were in the bottom corner. Do you want to walk us through that, you know, and how you felt about it afterwards?
Well, that was a situation where I was probably just pushing myself a little too much to catch up with the fleet, I think.
Is that because you enjoy being up there? Because you're actually performing a lot better.
I was thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know, being on top of the waves, going through, having good speed, boat feeling comfortable. It was fantastic. So an hour now, 2 hours. But the sea has a habit of throwing a you know, like a big wave at you every now and again. So it wasn't a big wave, but it curled over at the top and just folded itself over the top of me, over the transom, which which was okay. I wasn't bothered about it. You know, the cockpit has been built very well to get rid of all of the water, so that was fine. But the trough that was at the back of that wave took me by surprise, and I lost control over the boat, and it came sideways onto the wind and then went up, you know, sort of went over. Luckily, I was on a short strap, so you know I'd prepared myself for that, not for that event, but I'd prepared myself for that, just sailing on the edge a little bit, and so that was a little bit. Again, that was a shock.
Yeah, because you can see it all. It's like, you know, I know what happens. Often in a bigger boat, you don't get to see the whole perspective. But I'm imagining where you were sitting, you were able to see the whole mast going down into the water.
Yeah, the whole mast going down.
Water coming over the
hanging. I'm hanging from the sort of like from the stern of the boat, but it very quickly righted itself. I mean, you're talking about a few seconds, and then literally after that, I just put a smaller sail up.
Went down there to sleep.
Yeah, but I could have carried on.
Yeah.
I could have carried on, but I don't know. It just took the stuffing out of me a little bit.
Yeah.
Took a little bit of confidence out of me, and just needed to calm down a little bit more.
Yeah. So how did you find that second leg after the transatlantic?
This last leg was probably the hardest.
Yeah.
The wind conditions, the short, sharp seas. I'd witnessed that in Australia, but it was just a little bit. It was just a little bit harder. I mean, every condition has been different. So the Atlantic's been different. You know, the initial leg was different from Lagos to Lanzarote. Every sea stage has been different. Every wind has been different. But this last leg was just tricky with the currents, with coming into Panama. You know, where to go, current and waves. So it was just tricky.
Yeah.
It was just hard. It was harder. It was, from a sailing point of view, it was just a little bit harder.
So you look like a bit of a pro sailing into the marina, though.
Yeah, and then
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think John really realised. I told him my engine wasn't working again. Well, there was nobody there when I peeled in, so I was just very lucky. There was like a little little berth next to one of the super yachts, and I just pulled in. Yeah. And then I'm pushing with the rudder just for that last 2 feet to get in. Yeah. But I had everything ready. I had the anchor ready. I had my oar ready. Yeah. So I was all ready to paddle if I had to paddle.
Yeah. So that must have felt good when you finally got there.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good for me to get off the boat. I jumped off the boat, you know, from the bow. And a couple of guys from the super yachts came over to help, and that felt good. Coming in to meet everybody else. Yeah. You know. Yeah, yeah. It was just.
It's pretty interesting reaction from other sailors, eh?
Yeah.
When they see the boats.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel a bit proud when that happens? You know, like being in your own little boat.
Yeah. And Kerry is very good at. Kerry doesn't often put his motor on.
Yeah.
Like in Antigua, he just went off and came back, just under sail.
Yeah.
So again, it's an easy boat. It's, you know, it has the. You know, it can be a dinghy and it can be a boat that crossing the ocean. So it can be both sort of angles.
Yeah.
So it's easy. I was just flapping my little jib at the end just to.
So, how are you stacking up physically? I mean, everyone loses weight when we go through it, but you lost a bit on the Transat.
I lost a little bit on the Transat, but I feel good when my excess, you know, like when I feel good when I'm lighter. My power to body weight ratio is actually quite high.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've just always been the same way. I have the same neck size when I was 18. So But if I drop below 50, I think that's going to be a problem.
Drop like 50. How much do you reckon you weigh now?
I think I came into Panama at 52 kilos.
53.
52, 53.
Japers. Need more spinach, mate.
Yeah.
So do you feel it's good for your health, the whole deal?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel strong.
You feel alive, yeah.
Yeah, I feel alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel very good. No, but I do need to improve my eating. So for the last 3 or 4 days coming on that passage, I was eating well.
Yeah.
I was eating well.
Yeah. Okay. So is there something you're particularly looking forward to on the next leg, you know, or something that a standout emotion or something? Because a long way, eh? Could be 40 days or 45 days or something. You know.
I have got... It could be 80 days. I feel so comfortable out there that, you know...
Yeah.
Even here, I didn't want to come in. You know, I actually laid off for a day just to get the conditions right, come in during the day.
Yeah.
So there was no pressure coming in.
So how much water are you going to keep?
It seems to be the 2 litres per day, so probably account for 60 days, 120, 140 litres.
Yeah. 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 What do you drink normally? Because I very rarely drink water. You drink
Yeah, so I
juice
do
or...
eat a lot of juice.
Yeah.
So I like coconut water, and I don't eat dairy, so I use the coconut water on my cereals.
Yeah.
So on cereals I can use orange juice or coconut water, and so I like coconut water.
Yeah.
And I like a little bit of flavour in the water.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I do take quite a bit of juice as well.
Yeah. So do you ship much water down below this one with it being so hot, you know, hatch open, whatever, you know, or you're pretty dry?
I was quite dry because I was focused on closing the hatches. But there was one day when I've got those hatches where you can half close it.
Yeah, lock them off.
Yeah, and normally when you get a downpour, the water's not coming in. And there was one afternoon or one evening or early evening where I hadn't quite locked it off properly just to get some ventilation. And when the sideways wave hits you, it just comes straight in.
Yeah.
So I probably had a bucket full, but it was, you know. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, it did get a little bit hot. So it was getting up to 32, 33 degrees.
Yeah. You feel safe on the boat?
Safe.
Yeah.
Oh, extremely safe.
Yeah.
There's one or two times when you're feeling too safe and you're thinking, if I hit something, am I ready? And it just like pops you up a little bit. Where's the grab bag? Where's the...
Yeah, better than any life raft, eh?
Yeah.
It's an interesting feeling, you know, about the security of the boat. I got to admit, I feel really super safe in the boats.
Yeah.
You know? But then you got to stop and think they're in little boats. But
Yeah. And you're often getting into the cockpit with not forgetting, but not necessarily putting your harness on. It might be a nice day.
yeah,
But-
that's a good point. I haven't
But
asked him.
there's always that little unexpected slip or sideways hit or...
So what's your safety routine in terms of clipping on and stuff? You know?
Probably 90, I don't know. I want to get one of those little mountaineering straps,
Oh yeah,
which I haven't got yet,
yeah,
rather than, you know, it's just a little bit of a hassle putting the,
yeah,
you know, the jacket on and everything, but most of the time I put my jacket on just to keep the sun off, and it's actually a good feeling to put your uniform on to go outside,
yeah,
because you know you're prepared. So, you know, my knees aren't that great, so I often, if I have the feeling I need to go and change a sail up front or something, I'll actually put my knee pads on as well. So I'll put my shoes on, I'll put my knee pads on,
good idea.
and I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
You know, my gloves are handy, I've got a hat on, and, I'm prepared. So most of the time I'm prepared.
yeah, that's cool. What about personal hygiene? How often do you have a bath? What do you use or anything like that? You got had skin rashes or whatever?
There's parts of my body that haven't seen the sun before. And I did get like a red rash around my top of my thigh,
Yeah,
just going out in the cockpit, you know. Like,
yeah,
so, yeah, I wasn't prepared for that.
yeah.
So, you know,
Soda cream again.
Yeah.
Sudocrem does the
Yeah.
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very common trait, but anyway.
Yeah. So that takes 3 or 4 days to sort of, you know.
Yeah.
But then you put your body in the sunlight again. But it's not
Yeah.
really a sunlight. I think it's just the reflection of the sea, of everything.
Yeah, there's heaps of stuff bouncing around.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need to be in the sun.
Says here he's had about 32 skin cancers cut out. But anyway, that's another story.
So I was conscious. There was one day I didn't put sun cream on my nose, and
Yeah.
my nose peeled on this last trip.
Yeah. I never use sun cream. I'm my own worst enemy. Anyway, that's cool. Okay, so here we go again. You're about to set off. Next stop, full stop, is Fiji. That's a long way from bloody home. The way you've been, like Lagos to Lanzarote, Lanzarote to Antigua, Antigua, Panama, now it's Marquesas, and then Tahiti, and then Tonga and Fiji. That'll be cool. That'll be a party. You think you'll be? You think there'll be a bit of a pull towards Australia, thinking, "Oh, do I really want to keep going?" Or
Oh, definitely.
you know?
Yeah. No, those thoughts have been crossing my mind already. So, no, even this leg has bit crossed my mind.
Yeah.
You know, when I said I'm comfortable to go across the Pacific by myself, that's a little bit of a reflection of I'm happy to go solo. Right now, I'm happy to go solo, do my own little voyage across the Pacific. So even that has crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And then I've got John saying, no, we need to finish.
Then you got to sail past Bali, you know, because you could actually head up to Bali and stop there.
So, you know, so I do have another feeling, you know, getting off at Fiji.
Yeah.
Because there's interesting islands to visit around the Pacific. Do I need to go to Antigua?
Yeah.
So, yeah, those thoughts will continue.
Yeah. It's human nature.
Yeah, so...
The weight of it all.
Yeah.
You know.
But I'm enjoying the team. I'm enjoying the event. I'm enjoying so many things.
Yeah.
You know, so at the moment, those are probably more important than sitting in my own little cove, in my own little...
Smoking a pipe.
Yeah, whatever.
Looking back.
Yeah.
Anyway, all good. Yeah. Okay, well, that's all fun.
Yeah,
so good luck, eh? You're looking pretty good. The boat's looking pretty good, you know. So
the boat's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just not... I don't know why, but we're not quite ready for Monday.
Yeah.
So I just need a couple more days to do some passage planning, to get on top of the Celestial.
Yeah, because there's a deadline now.
Getting the boat ready. Yeah. We put up John's mast the other day, and we pulled the stay a little bit, so that's being fixed tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just some little jobs just to get ready. So I just need that extra day, 2 days.
Yep. Okay, well, we're expecting to see some illustrations and some blogs. So if you shoot it to us, we'll get it up somewhere.
Oh, cool.
All right? All the followers will be thinking, oh, that could be interesting. What's he talking about? He lost his bloody ears. Jeepers.
Well, I have a harmonic. So if everything else fails, I do have a harmonica.
Now we can have a live video, buddy,
I can
music session.
blast the harmonica.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very hard to learn the harmonica because you're upsetting people.
Skinning a cat, they call it. But anyway. Yeah. All right, sounds good. Thanks, mate. Good luck, eh?
Thank you.
We'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.
Yep, fantastic. See ya.